I was trying to be cool and professional and say Brandon's ready.
Oh.
And thought we could transition into it, but if you just want to hop right into it, we can bring Brandon on.
Okay.
Who's got a Dumb Zone shirt on?
I do. And a Christmas hat.
Man, look at that. Cowboy Santa hat. Hey, dude.
They give you those?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, they did for when we go to the hospital around Christmas time every year and kind of just hang out with the patients there and try and make their days.
Didn't even know who you are?
Not year one, but this year, yeah.
Okay.
A couple of people. It's funny because some people you kind of just show up and they have no love for sports or football, and they're just like, "Why are you shoving these people in our face?" And then some people are just over the moon, excited to see us. So there's a little bit of mix there.
How do you handle the first one? You just treat it like a genuine,
just try to
kind
be-
interaction?
Yeah, just trying to be a normal person and just chat with them, take their mind off of what they're going through for a little bit, and just hang out.
You're also not like a 6'4", 325-pound lineman, like football
Yeah.
players sometimes. And then you'll hear stories about certain athletes who get stopped by security at their own stadium, like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. Do you ever get that?
Yeah.
Because you don't look like, next to the definition of football player in the dictionary, it doesn't have a picture of you.
Yeah, absolutely. It still happens every once in a while. Week one, walking into the stadium, got stopped by our security guards who were there all last year. Just, still look like
no.
generic white guy.
But
they know who I am now, and they got those facial recognition cameras when you walk in. It just, I don't know, gets a little glimpse of your face from the side and just puts a little green check. It says cleared for entry. It's
Wow, that's
pretty
cool.
but scary at the same time.
boy, I didn't realize that. That's new
Yeah.
this year?
Yeah, at least I'm noticing them this year. I don't think they were here last year.
Hey, Brandon, can you get Dan's dog to chill out?
Yeah. Just open the door and let it out. Yeah. Kick him out and then close the door.
What's your pet situation? Have we talked about that before?
Two cats.
Two
We got
cats.
a big, fluffy, old cat that just sits around and cuddles with us all day. And we got a small little orange cat that's still got a little bit of energy, but still loves to cuddle. So just two little cats.
Well, congrats on the win yesterday. Even though
Thank you.
I guess you guys found out what was it like finding out that you couldn't make the playoffs anymore?
Yeah, so I was sitting at home watching that one, very emotional, pretty comfortably confident that the Eagles would take care of business. And it looked for a while like they would, and Jalen Hurts going out early doesn't help. But no one really talked about it at the stadium. We all prepared for a game and put a lot of work into getting ready for that game for this week, and wanted to go out and put our best foot forward and show that we kind of deserve to be in the playoffs, whether or not we have a shot of being there. Playing for our coaching staff, for ourselves, for our brothers on the team, everyone. It's a business. At the end of the year, a lot of contracts are up, and we want to show that we belong here and that the coaching staff has been great for us, and we want them back.
Yeah, I was criticizing the broadcast earlier only because the broadcast of your game, not this broadcast. But
This one's
they
been
were
great.
they were going nuts over. Collinsworth was going nuts over. Look at these guys. They're trying so hard. They're playing hard, and even though they learned they're out of the playoff, and I was thinking that's kind of ridiculous. Like, would you be, would you be less apt to make a field goal, knowing that, like, I don't really need to try to make this field goal? I mean, we're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're paid to play football, and at the end of some year, one year or another, we're gonna be looking for another contract, and we want to get paid to play football longer. And why would we go out there and tank or lose a game on purpose or just not give effort and give our staff and our front office a reason to move on from us and a better draft pick with a better shot of finding a player that may or may not be able to compete with us for our job. So, I mean, it's ludicrous to think that way. The only people that would be incentivized to go and lose a game would be the front office.
Yeah, and that's a whole other topic because unlike in some other sports, really any other sport, you can get seriously injured playing this game.
Yeah.
So anything other than giving it everything you have physically is dangerous. So you had a pretty sweet night last night. None of those looked like you had any trouble with them at all. We were talking earlier. I was saying about the broadcast. Tirico really loves you. I don't know how often you go back and watch the broadcast. Have you met Mike Tirico?
Yeah, I've met him. He's a big special teams guy. He's one of the first broadcasters to kind of reach out to the special teams units. He talks to all the coordinators. He talks to all the kickers and maybe a few of the punters and long snappers here and there. But he made a point to kind of give some love to the specialists at some point in his career. I'm not sure when that started, but last year he sat down with me and talked to me for a while, got my story, and made sure to put it all over the broadcast, and then called me this year before our first Sunday night game and just chatted with me to catch up. And then he's out at our practice this week before 4 games. He was on a scooter. It looked like a really nice scooter because he tore his ACL or his Achilles. So he's not very mobile. I don't know how he said he claims he tore it jumping up, celebrating opportunities to kick long field goals for kickers. I don't know how true that is, but he loves special teams and love we have someone kind of rooting for us and telling our stories on the broadcast.
Yeah, you can tell. You can definitely tell.
Yeah.
I kind of guessed that it was. He seems like he's really into golf, and I feel like the play-by-play guys really love what you guys do because they love golf. And it's kind of the only part of football they can sort of compare it to. So I wonder, do people who play golf, just random regular guys you run into, do they try to talk to you about their golf game in terms of kicking?
They do actually, and it is the same exact thing. It's just instead of a club, I have a leg that I use. So it's a really, really good comparison. Uh, I can turn my foot a little bit different angles and get a different loft for the club. Just different swing paths generate a different ball strike, and really the contact is the most important piece. Just being smooth with it and replicating that form, not over swinging like the one on the 70 you guys compared to golf last week, and that was perfect comparison. Just like this week, I'm in my comfort zone, can go and hit my nice smooth 80% swing and just watch it go through.
Just get up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
So from 58, that's your 80%?
Yeah, and I'd say 80% is that sweet spot where it's bringing enough to the table that I can get a good amount of power behind it, but I'm smooth enough to be able to control it. And when I swing the golf club, at least, anytime I try and swing at 100%, I have no idea where the ball's going. When I swing 80%, at least it's going to go straight. I don't know how far it's going to go, but I'm not very good at golf yet. But with kicking in particular, there's a certain threshold of power you can control, and it's definitely not 100%. I don't think any kicker goes out there and swings 100% unless they're out of their comfort zone.
Didn't they pass up an opportunity to get you a 66-yard try last night?
They did, yeah, up 9 with like 5 minutes to go. Obviously, you want to win the game first. So
Not me.
that's yeah. Well, coaching staff definitely wants to win the game. All the players want to win the game, and as much as we want to see a record, the right call there is to punt, pin them deep, and Brian and CJ and the rest of the punt team did an incredible job. I think we pinned them at the 5 there, gave them a long field to work with, and they ended up punting back, and then we punted again. Is the right call for sure. As much as the fans in the stands definitely want to see the long one, I want that long record, but still, it's still less likely to go in from there than probably it is likely to go in, I'd say.
So obviously we now watch every one of your kicks, frame by frame.
I love it.
If we can. That 53-yard field goal. It looked like your plant foot slipped a little bit, but you still got it.
Yeah, weird one. I made contact and then I wasn't able to get through the ball. Kind of fell out of it, so I didn't really slip. I haven't seen it yet, but just feeling it, yeah, I felt like I didn't get through that one at all. But I made good contact before I fell out. So it was just kind of a weird look because after contact, you'd ideally like to get down through the ball and then come out of it, come out of your swing. But I made contact and pretty much right away came out of it. But luckily the ball was off my foot before I fell, and it was just a little tiny slip.
Did you get to meet Baker Mayfield?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a
I
big
met him
fan.
at the Pro Bowl last year. He's a great dude, and he single-handedly doubled my paycheck. He got the win bonus for the Pro Bowl. Doubles your pay for being there. And in the
Oh,
flag football game, we were down big, and then he got the fourth quarter, and he came back, and we won that thing. So he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league for that.
okay. I didn't realize that. So they try
Yeah,
to do that to make you guys. There's a way to make you play hard, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Wait, so I guess I probably tuned out on this years past. So do you just play regular during flag football?
No, so I, as a kicker, don't do anything during flag football. They have a competition called like kick-tack-toe, which goes on the day before or 2 days before, depending on how they run the event. And it's just tic-tac-toe with kickers, and whoever wins gets 3 points for their team, and those points go towards the score at the start of the game. So that's the only way we contribute, and obviously the scores get up to like 50 something. So unlike a normal game of football where the kickers have a huge say in the outcome, and in the Pro Bowl, we don't really have much to do with it, but we still get the win bonus if your team wins, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You get to sit there and be a cheerleader.
So I don't know if you guys have anything else about yesterday's game, but I was going to move on to some stuff earlier in the week. In fact, was it? I was still at Clemson last week. Was it Thursday Night Football? Yeah. The free kick.
Yeah, the
Oh
fair
yeah.
catch free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you know
that's
about that
awesome.
rule and everything?
Yeah, that's actually one of the ways we were hoping to get the record. We talk about it every year at least once. We talked about it a couple times this year already. It's a weird situation. Obviously, the timing of the end of the quarter kind of has to be perfect, and the punt has to be a little subpar. We, in that situation, like got to be like 10 to 8 seconds left on the clock. They're punting backed up probably, or maybe from their 10 and back, and kind of still need the punter to put it in play because our punter, I'm pretty sure we would tell him to put it on the white paint, which means the sideline. Just put as much hang time and don't give the returner a chance to field it. That way, if you don't catch it, if you don't get your fair catch, then you can't obviously call fair catch free kick. So yeah, it's just a once in a blue moon situation. Obviously, it would have been a 72-yard field goal, which they probably don't even try um, in LA because it's sea level. The ball doesn't fly all that well out there. So that 15-yard penalty just put them into range, and it's not often that that situation comes up and you're in comfortable field goal range. And for Dicker, that is comfortable field goal range. He's a great kicker. I've kicked with him a lot. He's a Texas guy. He works with my kicking coach. So in the off season, I get to work with him a lot. He's an incredible kicker. He deserves more love than he gets out there. I think he's still sitting at like 92, 93% on the year, and his third year in the league, and every year he's been 90% or above. So he deserves more love than he gets too.
I don't think you want the record like that.
No, I do. I do.
No, I'm just saying because people would always they would always say like, "Oh, that was on a free kick,"
Yeah, but they're talking about him.
Yeah,
but he knows
I
he
mean,
can make it from the other straight up though.
I
a
thought
free
it.
kick is just a field goal. It's just there's no rush, and honestly, with no rush and no rhythm, and kind of everyone just staring at you, and you go at your own pace, it's a different thing that you don't practice. So it's just as difficult as a normal kick where you got all the rush coming. You don't notice the rush as a kicker. So
Interesting.
it just gets you in your rhythm with the play clock and all that. So kind of I wouldn't know the rhythm for fair catch free kick. It would throw me off pretty significantly, especially with a timeout called by both teams going into it. Yeah, it's a long time to think about that kick, and he put it right down the middle.
Would your trajectory change at all? Like, could you hit further without a rush?
Absolutely, yeah. It opens up the ability to just line drive it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that he only. Well, how old Kicker or Dickers was like 40 something though, right?
57.
57? Okay.
yeah.
Well, I thought it
Yeah.
was interesting. He did just take the 3 steps back and couple
Yeah.
over. He didn't do the running like I'm doing a kickoff start. Would you do the
Yeah.
running kickoff start if you had the record?
Depends. If it's 70 and further, probably. If it's 67, 68, probably sticking with the 3 steps. If it goes to like 69, 70 and on, it's depends on the day. I'd probably from 69 on switch to the kickoff steps just to give myself a little more comfortable distance. But with those kickoff steps, the accuracy is not what it is with the 3 steps.
What's your personal record with kickoff steps?
75, just through the uprights on but that's with the tee on the fair catch free kick. I can't say that I've hit more than one fair catch free kick with kickoff steps because that's, holder holding it on the ground, doing your kickoff steps, and that's not something that, I think maybe 3 or 4 attempts since I've been watching football and since I was like 10. So
Okay.
It doesn't happen very often.
So back in a minute ago, you were talking about Dicker kicking in L.A., and you said since it's sea level and all that kind of stuff. So are you familiar with the altitude of every city?
I'm starting to, because you go out to these road trips, I'm like, geez, why is my ball not flying very well out here? And then talk to Banger, he's like, oh, well, we're at sea level, that's why. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But in Vegas, felt like, I just had the kid and I hadn't slept very well, and like, geez, I'm going to struggle today. And I got out there and I felt like I wasn't kicking the ball very well, but it was flying. And I'm like, what is going on? But it's a hot day and at altitude, pretty high altitudes. That's probably the best place to kick. And everyone brings up Denver, but Vegas, I felt like I had 10 extra yards on my ball and I kind of felt like crap. So I was very impressed by how much of a difference the altitude makes.
What's the Dallas altitude? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Not even
Average.
No one even
I
knows.
have no idea.
Average, wouldn't average be 0? it's level?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know if average is 0, right? 'Cause that's
Well, yeah.
sea level would be somewhere between Denver and LA.
See that shirt? What that says?
You fit right in
Yeah.
on our show.
So you poked a little bit too far on my understanding there.
Yeah. That's what Chat GPT's for.
Yeah.
My wife was complaining yesterday, or the day we got back from vacation. We had a pile of mail there. And I got to tell her a Brandon Aubrey story based on her complaint. Because she got this piece of mail, and then she was like, even that night, she couldn't go to sleep because she was thinking about it. And thinking, I can't believe this. How do I get out of this? This jury summons.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I said, if you think you're getting out of it, let me tell you the story of All-Pro kicker Brandon Aubrey. And
Well, you
she's
just
like,
did her a disservice putting it out on public airwaves because, she could just pretend she didn't get it, but now she can't.
oh, you're allowed to do that?
This guy's a vet.
You're not really allowed to do it, but I guess that's what people do.
That's in the playbook? Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's in the playbook.
Yeah, well, no, I want her to go serve her nation and do her civic duty. Yeah,
Maybe see if she can get one out of town.
Yeah.
maybe sequestered for 3 months.
I heard non-refundable air travel will do it too. I've heard that one a couple of times.
Oh, interesting. She did tell me she's gotten one in the past, but if you have kids under 10 or something, you can get out of it. So pass that on to Jen.
Yeah, that's how I did it.
If you're the main care provider.
Yeah. Oh, because you tried getting out of it that way? And
Yeah, they made very clear to say main care provider. And, I've been on public airwaves saying how awesome Jen is handling Colton, all that.
What a backfire.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So don't praise your wives.
that's the lesson that we're learning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, my one more note from last week's games. This wasn't just yesterday, but last week. Did you see Jalen Hurts got fined?
The shoes.
He was
Oh,
wearing
for
two
wearing two
different
different
color
briefs?
shoes.
I did see that, and I got a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But I think it's more about, like, what brand those cleats are? Because I couldn't see a brand on them. They're probably just not approved.
Yeah, I think part of
let
it
alone
is
two
as
colors.
long as they're like black, white, gray, or team color, you're going to be able to get away with it, I think. So
That
if it's
makes more
team
sense.
color,
I don't know the.
yeah, he had like a neon green on
Yeah.
with a regular color. So I think that's what they were getting him for. But he also said that he'd worn those before and got nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems kind of arbitrary. You'll
The
have to ask CD about that. He seems to could find a
the
lot.
way fines work for equipment is in warm up you go out there and what you're wearing, and then the whatever guys in charge of fines that day will take a peek at all the players' EQ and write up what they're fining a player for and give it to your equipment staff, and they come to you in the locker room, and if you don't change it, they fine you. So for us, I know week one with the Browns, we had an issue where our we'd been wearing blue or white tights underneath our pants all last year, and apparently you're supposed to all be in one color, the team issued color. But our EQ staff was putting out both for us because we'd been getting away with it for at least 2 seasons. So then week one, half our guys that were not wearing the team color that were wearing white got fined, and the EQ staff wrote the league and said, "Hey, so that's on us. We'll take care of it going forward." So they got rid of those fines, but that's the process. I don't really know the rules. I
Jeez.
just if I get a little note from my EQ, I can make sure to change it quick.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I did see former Cowboy Jesse Holley. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Okay, so he was a receiver for the Cowboys for a couple years. You're not going to believe this, but he actually won a reality show that the Cowboys hosted called Fourth and Long.
Okay.
Michael Irvin hosted it. Their special teams coach at the time, Coach Joe, I'm sure you've heard of. He was a
Hmm.
part of it. Jesse Holley won that reality show and got a camp invite and made the team.
That's incredible.
So he's in sports media now, and he was tweeting the other day about how fines work. And I'd never thought of this before, but he put out the idea that if you do get fined, that is considered a donation and it is written off on your taxes.
Yeah, that is. I don't know if it's considered a donation, but there's definitely a line item on all these tax forms we fill out that says fines, and fill it out.
Interesting, because I mean, maybe you're right at like a certain tax level, and you're like,
Just take the fine.
I'm just gonna wear the blue tights this week, see if I can
Sure.
break even
Yeah.
here.
Smart.
Yeah.
Save a little bit of money.
And then put a logo for like your cancer foundation on there and be like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna fine me
You
for
gonna
that?
fine me? Sure.
Oh, okay,
Guess that's you.
I gladly will pay that
Guess
fine."
that's you.
Absolutely.
Christmas. You guys,
Oh yeah.
you have Christmas off? How does that work for the team?
We have today off. We go in tomorrow for our normal Wednesday practice, and then we have Wednesday off, which is Christmas. So yeah, we got Christmas off. We're gonna go over to my parents' house and hang out with the in-laws and my parents, and just have a jolly good time.
The first baby's first Christmas. Did you go get the Santa picture and all that?
No, we did not. I doesn't sound like me. I heard Blake had a terrible time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sounds
Unrealistic
miserable.
expectations, I guess.
What was
Yeah.
your time?
Oh, you missed it. I convinced my wife that we're only going to do this a handful of times and it'd be awesome. And I decided to opt for like the big package, the digital prints, all the different prints. Brooks was ready to go. I'm going to ask Santa for a blue car. I'm going to sit in his lap. We had it all planned out, and I thought, yeah, this will go great. And then he got there and just had a meltdown. Was afraid of Santa, didn't want to sit on his lap.
You didn't even get the crying picture on his lap?
We got it,
Oh, okay.
but I'm still.
He's
Dude,
traumatized?
Here's the worst part. Blake grounded him from television for freaking out about Santa. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
what?
You punished him?
Yeah, a little bit. Just
Jeez.
My kid would not last a day in Blake's house.
Mommy and Daddy asked you to do something and you didn't.
This guy's a
Unbelievable.
disciplinarian.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway. Okay, yeah, didn't know if you had any like extra cameos to do for people or what.
I do. I do have a backlog that I need to get to today. I think a couple of them expire right before bedtime, so I got to get to that.
Okay. Well, maybe you could do them in your Dumb Zone t-shirt.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
maybe I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this will be my attire for it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Santa hat.
with a Santa hat.
Do I look ridiculous?
No.
You never do.
Killing it.
Yeah, well, thanks, man. Hope you have a good time over your nice little break, and maybe we'll do this next week. I don't know what your schedule is. I'm not exactly sure what ours is, but I will be in contact.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Go Irish.
Enjoy Philly.
Oh, that's right. Go
No, I
Irish.
will not
Did you
enjoy
watch that
Philly.
game?
I did. Fell asleep a few times, a little tired, but it wasn't the most exciting game, but you got the win, and I felt comfortable the whole time. So, yeah, go Irish.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.